in a high school classroom shows Phil Hartman as a teacher standing at a podium in front of students seated at desks. Hartman: Hello, class. My name is Mr. Mittenbottom, and before we start our history class here, I wanted to go around the room and have you share your pronouns and anything else you want to add about your gender identity so that I don't later misidentify you. Shows John Belushi sitting at a desk who says, Oh, come on, that's a waste of time. You can't tell if we're male or female? Hartman: Well, young man, if that is what you are, as you haven't identified your pronouns yet, so I don't know that to be the case for sure, gender is a social construct that can take on many different expressions and identities. What are your pronouns? Belushi: He, him, obviously. Hartman looks down at his podium and says, Okay, Mr. McIntosh, I will make a note of that. Now let's continue. How about you, Lakeisha Watson? Shows Denitra Vance sitting at a desk who says, My pronouns are she, her, but I'm thinking about changing my pronouns to they, them. I am a lesbian, but lately I've felt outside the normal binary construct. Hartman: Very good, Miss Watson. I will keep that in mind, and if you ever choose to change your pronouns, please let me know and I will make a note of it to the class. Okay, next. How about you, Mickey McDonald? Shows Chris Farley sitting at a desk smirking who says, Hi, my pronouns are she, her, and I identify as a sissy. Hartman: Well, Mickey, I'm not sure you can identify as a sissy per se, as the term sissy is pejorative in nature. Farley: Actually, I can, you fucking boner. Hartman: Excuse me? Farley looks behind him at the other students and says, God, this guy is just some tard stuck in the 20th century. Hartman: Now, I wouldn't say that. I'm actually quite progressive. I just have never heard of someone identifying as a sissy. Farley: Well, actually, Mr. Dickenbottom. Hartman: It's Mittenbottom. Farley: Whatever. The point is that actually, sissy is a term used to describe people who were assigned male at birth and embrace feminine roles and or expression. A reclaimed slur, it retains connotations of censure that can be important to those using it as a gender identity label. The identity can fall under the gender queer, gender variant, trans feminine, gender nonconforming, or non-binary umbrellas, depending on the individual's identification with those terms. Hartman: Oh, okay, well, very good. Then I will be sure to identify you as a sissy, Mickey. Belushi: That sissy there quit football so he could wear pink panties. Hartman: Mr. McIntosh, I will not allow such intolerable and hateful language to be used against Miss McDonald. Farley: Actually, it's okay. Hartman: What? How can it be okay? Farley: Actually, Mr. Mutton Chop Bottom, because the transgressive nature of the gender queering is integral to the gender identity, some sissies embrace the shame and abuse as part of who they are. Belushi: Yeah, he likes it when I call him my little sissy bitch. Farley: That's right, it's part of my identity. Hartman: Okay, well, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable with your sissy identity? Farley: You can berate me for being a little sissy bitch. Hartman: I'm sorry, but that may be difficult for me to do, as I highly value bestowing upon all my students respect. Farley: Well, based on my sissy identity, you're not showing me any respect unless you shame me for being a little bitch. Belushi: Come on, it's easy, Mr. Finger and Bottom. Just like this. Hey, sissy, are you going to climb up on your desk and scream like a bitch if the gerbil gets loose again? Hartman: I'm very sorry, but this is just going to take a lot of getting used to for me. Farley: Come on, berate me for being a sissy bitch, Mr. Picklebottom. Hartman: It's Mittenbottom, and let's see. You should be wearing pigtails, you sissy bitch. Farley: There you go. Hartman: I'm sorry, class. This is very difficult for me. I'm going to need a minute. Hartman leaves the classroom. Belushi gets up and high-fives Farley and says, Great job with the sissy gag, Mickey. Farley: Yeah, these new teachers will believe anything. and dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest and host, Tom Smothers. Everybody, Tom Smothers. Applause, applause, applause. Show Smothers on stage, he says. Thank you, thank you. I was a comedian, actor, composer, and musician, best known as half of the musical comedy duo the Smothers Brothers, alongside my younger brother Dick. Applause, applause, applause. Smothers. In the late 1950s and early 60s, we frequently appeared on television variety shows and issued several popular record albums of our stage performances. Our own television variety show, the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, became one of the most controversial American TV programs of the Vietnam War era. Despite popular success, our penchant for material that was critical of the political mainstream and sympathetic to the emerging counterculture led to our firing by the CBS network in 1969. Jan Hooks comes out. Smothers. Hi, Jan. Do you mind if I sing you a Christmas song? Hooks. It's a little late for that, honestly, but go ahead, Tom. Smothers takes out his guitar and sings, "You better not cry, you better not shout, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is dead." Hooks. That's terrible. Smothers. I didn't kill him. Hooks. Well, you succeeded in making a classic Christmas song trivial with a cheap joke. Smothers. Thank you very much. Hooks. You missed the point. That wasn't a compliment. You missed the point of the song and went for a cheap laugh. Smothers. I got your point, and I have a story that can illustrate the point you're trying to make. Hooks. Go ahead. Smothers. Once upon a time, there was this little boy who took care of sheep, and every once in a while he would cry, "Wolf," and all the townspeople would come running. But there was no wolf, see, and he did this. He'd cry wolf 4 or 5 times, and the townspeople would come, and there was no wolf, and he'd laugh and laugh. And then one night a real wolf came, and the boy cried wolf, and nobody showed up, and the wolf ate him. Hooks. And? Smothers. And the wolf ate him. Hooks. Okay, when you're illustrating a point with a story, the story should have something to do with the point. Smothers. What are you talking about? That's a classic story. Hooks. I know it's a classic story, but to make my point, you chose the wrong story. Smothers. Maybe you chose the wrong point. Hooks throws her hands up in the air. Smothers. Folks, we have a great show tonight. I'm here. So get ready for jokes like Easter is when Jesus comes out of his tomb, and if he sees his shadow, he goes back in and we get 6 more weeks of winter. We'll be right back.